Protect your DNA. BioPQQ can promote formation of new mitochondria. Infowarsstore.com.
Welcome to the Infowars Nightly News. I'm your host, Jakari Jackson. It's April 1st, 2015. Let's get straight into our news tonight. We'll start with something that's no laughing matter, the drought in California. And now we have the article, California imposes first ever water restrictions to deal with drought. Very serious issue indeed. But the thing that's somewhat of a joke to me is while they will impose these water restrictions on the populace in general, we've seen companies, big companies like Nestle, they'll go out there and bottle the water in California and then sell it back to Californians. So it seems like they seem to be exempt from these very restrictions that are plaguing the rest of the state while they themselves are cashing in despite the record drought. So food for thought, just something to keep in mind when you go and make your purchases and when you are affected by this water drought in California. And it's not just people not having the proper water for themselves, but also livestock, farming equipment, other things like that, trying to grow the crops and all that out there in California. Now let's switch gears and talk about some recent updates with the Bergdahl situation. And now we have the report, Obama wanted to release Taliban 5 without Bergdahl in return. President Obama originally wanted to release the Taliban 5 as part of a largely one-sided exchange to empty out Guantanamo Bay, only asked for Bergdahl in return after he met with resistance from the intelligence community, according to a report cross-checked with other documents. And it goes on to say, on January 22nd, 2009, 5 months before Bergdahl found himself in Taliban captivity, President Obama signed Executive Order 13492 to launch the review and disposition of Guantanamo prisoners, including the Taliban 5. So what we see here is Mr. Obama was so eager to empty Guantanamo Bay, and I do give him the proper recognition for actually trying to shut down Guantanamo Bay, but I don't think you just empty it like this jailbreak scenario, just get rid of all the guys in there and not have a prisoner swap to coincide with that. So on one hand, I'm happy he's trying to shut it down, but the other hand, I don't think he's doing it exactly the proper way. And, you know, the jury's still out on Bergdahl. Many people have very strong opinions. You know, I've never been in war. I've never been accused of being deserters. So there's a lot of things that I'm eager to find out as this thing progresses. But for right now, Bergdahl doesn't seem to be too popular with the people I know who have served in the military, and only time will tell what exactly happens to him. But talking about other Obama actions, Obama plans executive order for UN climate rules. Of course, we know the United Nations, a big proponent of the global warming narrative, also President Obama as well. And do I recognize that climates change? Yes, climates change all the time. They've changed since the beginning of history. But I also don't think that paying carbon taxes to groups and individuals like Al Gore is going to do anything to save the planet. Do I recognize we have pollution problems? I most definitely do. But you think about these global warming alarmists, you don't talk about we're alarmists here, but no, when you say something like if the polar ice caps melted and then you're gonna have 21 feet of water in Florida or over there in California, yeah, it's been years since those predictions have been made, and thus that I know of, that has not happened. Many other examples as well. They say, well, what about all the floods and the hurricanes and the tornadoes? There have always been hurricanes and floods and tornadoes. And people would say, well, it's worse now. We have definitive proof. We have worse floods now than we've had at any other point in history. Oh, if you ever, took a look at the Bible and you saw there's a pretty big flood that, killed everything on the planet minus a few animals and the people on the boat. But, if that's your position on it, you're welcome to it. But regardless if you believe me or you believe anybody else, just don't pay these people carbon taxes. If we can agree on that, you can believe whatever else that you want to believe. We'll move on now to some drills. We've been talking about the Jade Helm drills. We've also spoken about the drills that have happened in Miami, Florida. They do drills out there. Also, we've seen the zombie apocalypse training out there in California. I'm not making that up. Now, when I say the zombie apocalypse training, I don't think they're really training for a zombie apocalypse. They just made it kind of fun and trendy to get the locals to go along with it. But now we see a DHS-funded drill simulates a nuke attack on the U.S.-Mexico border. The drill, which involved numerous police and fire departments, as well as the American Red Cross and the Salvation Army, including an exercise where thousands of people were in need of decontamination and oxygen. So basically, a nuke goes off on the border of U.S., Mexico, and you have a bunch of people going over either way. And I believe this particular drill simulated people coming over into our country. But we already have a record number of people coming into our country without the nuke crisis. So I'm wondering how well this thing is going to be received, or what training they've actually learned from dealing with all the mass influx of people coming over here for whatever reason. You know, whether they were fleeing oppression for whatever reason, they thought they could come here and get a better job, whatever. But yeah, I'm just not exactly sure what exactly they're planning to accomplish with this, or if they have some type of inside information. Now, do I believe that there's a nuke attack imminent? No, I do not. But, you know, if they're training for it, they definitely view it as some type of probability. So they're doing whatever they have to do to prepare for that.
Another major health threat, this one in Toledo, Ohio, where everybody in the entire city has been told not to drink the water.
Ohio's governor declaring a state of emergency.
Did you know that the average person uses about 80 to 100 gallons of water at home every single day? If there's a water emergency, will you be prepared?
Panicked residents forming long lines throughout the day.
We're here at a supermarket in Toledo. You can see the shelves empty where water once was.
To stay safe and healthy during a crisis, you must have access to safe, clean water. Water which will not be available at your local grocery store.
There's a mad dash on right now to stock up on supplies.
The ProPure Pro 1 G2.0 water filtration system is a must-have for every modern, independently minded household. Protect your family's safety during an emergency. Go to InfoWarsStore.com today to purchase your ProPure Pro 1 G2.0 water filtration system, or call 1-888-253-3139.